Autumn is known as the season of festivals among movie fans, and the festive spirit goes into full gear with Canada's second largest film event, featuring 365 motion pictures from more than 70 countries. And here's our preview.
The Greater Vancouver Film Society, a non-profit charity organisation, is the driving force behind the Seaport City's internationally renowned festival, which is currently in its 36th year. What started out as a humble local effort has turned into an event that attracts the most daring examples of mainstream and independent cinema. And this year's edition is no different.
So, what brings you to over there?
I want to do something for Vincent.
You're not going to stir things up again, are you?
Described as the world's first fully painted feature, Dorothy Cobriela and Hugh Welchman's Loving Vincent brings the works of Dutch painter Vincent van Gogh to life. According to the makers of the film, the animation took 7 years to make, and each of its 65,000 frames were hand-painted by professional oil painters working on the production.
If only I could have been one of them.
The recently deceased actor Harry Dean Stanton's last film, Lucky, will be screened at the festival's Contemporary World Cinema category. The movie, which focuses on the spiritual journey of a 90-year-old man, is already being praised for Stanton's performance.
Nice outfit there, cowboy.
I was scared to death. I started thinking there's nothing out there.
If I knew where my dad was.
Cult director Todd Hayes surprised his fans with his young adult book adaptation, Wonderstruck.
This is a story about what makes us different.
In this tale of time travel, two kids from different centuries strike up an unlikely friendship. In addition to the screenings of the bigger movies, the festival will also feature premieres of low-budget indie flicks, as well as panels led by industry professionals.
And now film critic Jose Teodoro joins me via Skype to share his own impressions of the festival. Welcome, Jose. It's great to see you again. Tell me about this year's edition of the Vancouver Film Festival. We just wrapped up the Toronto International Film Festival. What are we expecting?
You know, something totally different. I think Vancouver is a very different city. It's a very distinct place. You know, the proximity to nature gives the city a very different ambience, and also the fact that it has a very large East Asian population. So what you get with VIFF as opposed to TIFF is a festival that's servicing a very different community, a community that's interested in seeing more reflections of East Asian culture, and in fact a lot more of Canada. If you look at the lineup of films at VIFF this year, the number of really interesting Canadian projects is staggering, especially projects from either coast of Canada, and not just Toronto, where you know, so many of the films that you see abroad probably wind up coming from.
What are some of the films that are actually standing out? Because there's so many to choose from. Tell me your thoughts on that.
I mean, in terms of the Gateway program, or Gateway Stream, as it were, is the East Asian program. There's this film Paradox by Wilson Yip, which is, you know, a big Hong Kong action spectacle. It's going to be showing in a big cinema, and I think will draw a very large crowd. And then there's also crazy events like Canadian filmmaker Guy Madden is going to be showing his film The Green Fog with live music from Kornos Quartet. And as well, we have something like 24 Frames, which is the last film made by the Iranian director Abbas Kiarostami, which is an art film that's composed of a bunch of short films inspired by paintings and photographs. The diversity is pretty stunning.
Well, I watched the trailer of The Killing of a Sacred Deer that stars Colin, Farrell, and Nicole Kidman. That looks very interesting to me. What's that about?
I confess I haven't yet seen the film. It's going to be opening here quite soon, but its director Yorgos Lanthimos, he's the guy who did Dogtooth, is just a fascinating, perverse imagination in his own right. And now that he's working in Ireland and collaborating with Colin Farrell, I think we're going to see something probably quite disturbing, probably quite darkly funny, and probably unlike anything you've seen before.
Well, with film festivals comes stars, obviously. A lot of people are looking forward to seeing certain people on the red carpets. Who do you think is going to make a striking appearance?
Well, I mean, in terms of like Hollywood movie stars, I'm not so sure. You know, the funny thing about Vancouver is that it has a staggering number of films and a lot of guests attending. But it's really, in a sense, it's more of a small festival. It's more of an intimate festival. In terms of movie stars, I'm not quite sure who's going to be showing up, but I do think that given the size of the East Asian audience there in Vancouver, I think that someone like Bong Joon-ho is actually going to be drawing a great deal of attention. They're going to be screening Okja. Now, whether or not Tilda Swinton will be there as well, I'm not sure. The film's a little long in the tooth in terms of festival run, so I think we might have to wait and see.
We indeed have to wait and see. It was a pleasure having you on Showcase. Thanks for a great review there.